Hey guys, welcome back to another bass design video. Today I want to show you a preset that I made in Spire. I promised that I was going to do more Spire tutorials. So here's bass design number 22 and we're going to make this sound. So that's sort of like a growl thing, I guess. I decided to test out the vowel filters in inside Spire. So let me just turn everything off, as usual. So let's start making the sound. Well, the thing I did is I have oscillator number 1 is a saw wave, slightly detuned. Oscillator number 2 is also a saw wave. And you can see I'm mixing these two. The non-detuned one is slightly louder. But sort of like just a detuned saw kind of thing. Then on oscillator 3, I have the vocal 1 waveform, and it's just adding in a tiny little bit. Now, right now, this is just the two saw waves. And I'm doing a pitch bend on these notes, by the way. I can show you. As you can see, I'm doing a pitch bend on these. Slightly different one in the second. You can see I'm doing this 12 up and 24 down. Let's make them both 24. And that second or third oscillator, which is the vocal 1 waveform, just adds in some slightly more upper harmonics. It's not much, definitely not much. Then filter, I have one filter that is being used. It's the Infecto set to a notch. You can see the settings, pretty much 12 o'clock on the cutoff and 12 o'clock on the resonance. And I think I'm automating that cutoff. Yeah, Spire filter 1 cutoff, I'm automating that one, so that's this particular one. Then that is running into the shaper, which I'm using full drive on this one, so it's really adding quite some distortion. I'm also using the dry wet at 100%, and this really increases the volume. Now I also have the first envelope, sorry. That first envelope is also connected to the cutoff, so it's actually doing even more motion on that than it's doing with just the automation. But yeah, just adding in some more movement. I could try bring this down. Guess that kind of works as well. Then I'm running that into the phaser. However, I'm using the vowel low mode instead of one of the phaser stages. And the vowel low mode is actually just a formant kind of filter. So I am automating the phaser frequency. So I'm automating this knob, and that is the bottom automation lane. So this is actually the movement on that frequency knob on the phaser. And with that phaser, we now get this. So we get a much more vowel-like sound now. One thing though, what I did is I decided to automate this one, and I didn't really want to use the built-in LFO. So I brought that rate all the way down, which basically sets it to 0, and you can bring the depth knob down as well, which makes sure that we're not going to get any of that movement from the LFO that's built in this particular filter stage, in this particular phaser. Then I haven't used these 3, so even though they're muted or unmuted, it doesn't really matter. Then I have one more thing right here. I'm using some of the compression. You can see the compression. You can see how much compression I'm doing. I'm also boosting the high end just a little. And that's basically it for Spire itself. Then we layer that with another instance of Spire, and this one is basically the same thing. It has the same pitch bending settings, but it only has one sine wave on oscillator 1, so that's just being added in to give it the bass that it needs. That is then on the mid layer. I'm then adding an EQ8, which is high passing this at around 100 hertz, and it's adding that notch movement, which is coming from this particular lane. So this lane is actually doing the automation on that notch that you can see right here. That is then running into Chorus HC, which I must say I really like this chorus plugin. I like the sound of it. It's a great sounding chorus plugin, and I think it's free as well. I can look up who made this. It's a chorus plugin by Beat Assist. I think it's a free plugin. It's pretty cool. So you can hear just a little bit of that chorus. Then I have another EQ8 doing even more notch filtering, going in the opposite direction as the first EQ8. And this is the top lane. That is then running through a reverb, just to give it a bit more stereo width, a bit more ambience, I guess. The decay time is really short. I brought the chorusing on this one up pretty high as well, and I played around with these reflect and diffuse settings to sort of like get the amount of reverb that I want. Dry wet is about 33%. Then I added Wow 2. I took the preset Killing the Wave from the Fragment Machinery. I just browsed through these presets, and I ended up changing this a little bit around. Dry wet is a little bit lower than the original setting. I'm using a lower cutoff setting, and you can see I'm using a much higher amount on the LFO that's controlling the cutoff. I took out the modulation on the resonance and brought the resonance down slightly. I played around with the distortion a little bit. I changed this waveform to a sine wave, and I made the rate slower to 1/1. And that just helps to, I don't know, sort of like make it a little bit better. With just the killing the wave, you had a much faster rhythm, and now it's actually doing this. So it's adding even more vowel character. I'm using the vowel filter, by the way, as well, so that's what's actually causing that vowel-like character to shine through. Then final glue compressor, which is really compressing the mids really hard, and that is then being run into a Maximus, which is bringing up the lows, bringing up the mids a lot as well, and bringing up the highs, and then finally on the master doing quite some compression too, to really bring it up and make it loud. So, there you have it. That's how I created this sort of like growl kind of sound in Spire. This was just a test to test out how the vowel filter in Spire sounds, and I must say I think it's pretty good. You can get some really nice effects with the vowel filter inside Spire, and yeah, if you wanted to see more Spire tutorials, let me know in the comment below, and maybe you have a request for a certain sound. Let me know and I'll try to do a tutorial about it. Other than that, I hope you like these videos. You can subscribe this channel and you'll be able to stay up to date with all the videos I do. You can also come to my website where I have a music production forum where you can actually talk to me directly, where you can ask me all your questions and I will try to answer them. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up soon, and I hope to see you back tomorrow. Peace.